Brighton and Hove Albion are the most exciting team to watch in the Premier League. Every single one of their games has at least 4 goals, with each team scoring in every game. And in addition, they're unpredictable. They beat rich clubs like United and Newcastle while being taken apart by West Ham and Aston Villa. And you might be wondering, is it a coincidence that the Crystal Palace fan is talking about Brighton after they just lost 6-1? No. But even I can't deny that Brighton are must-see TV. Brighton play an attacking possession-based style of play, which leads to them dominating games. Everybody on the team is great on the ball, from goalkeeper Jason Steele, who's a top 5 goalkeeper in the league with the ball at his feet, to Evan Ferguson up top. Everybody is superb on the ball, and that is Brighton's priority when they find players, for better and for worse. Their attack has been elite this season, and there hasn't been a team that slowed them down. They've dominated possession in every game they've played, and it hasn't been meaningless either. They've turned it into goals, scoring against every team they've played in the Premier League. And in their victories, they're putting up at least 3 goals. I mean, it's telling that they lost 6-1, and their goal difference is still positive. Oh yeah, we need to talk about that defense. Brighton's defense has been terrible this season. There's no way around it. Only teams in the relegation zone have conceded more. Their offensive style of play leaves their defense exposed, especially since Caicedo left. They have a group of players that would probably be fine in a system like West Ham's, but without the help from the midfield, they are left exposed. And a lot of the players are just better on the ball. Tariq Lamptey is much better going forward, and Jason Steele, as good as he is with the ball, he's closer to a championship-level shot stopper than a Champions League level one. Their defense is a major issue that De Zerbi's team will have to address if they hope to reach the next level. But because of how many goals are in these Brighton games, it makes them really fun to watch. And in addition, the talent level is really high as well. I mean, last season, Brighton's midfield had Alexis McAllister, a world champion and a big part of that Argentina World Championship team, and Moises Caicedo, the most expensive British player ever. And this year's group of players is just as good. Evan Ferguson scored a Premier League hat-trick at 18 and looks like the most exciting prospect in the entire division, not to mention the hope of all of Irish soccer. Then Kiro Mitoma is an electric dribbler with really strong end product that big clubs have to be circling. Purvis Estupiñán is one of the strongest left-backs in the league. Billy Gilmore looks like a Champions League midfielder. Tariq Lamptey is a human joystick at right back. Enciso looks like a special player and will be really fun to watch upon his return. And Ansu Fati, Messi's successor at one time, is on this Brighton team. The talent level is insane. Most of these players will be bought by big clubs this summer for much, and I mean much bigger fees than what Brighton has paid for them. Brighton's scouting and recruitment has been elite, and the reason why their net spend is so much better than any other team in the Premier League. But this is a bit of an issue, isn't it? I mean, being a selling club in the Premier League just isn't sustainable. And I mean, as much as we make jokes about Chelsea and Brighton, their relationship reminds me of Liverpool's and Southampton's relationship in the 2010s. And we saw how that ended for the Saints. But I'd say the difference between Brighton and Southampton is how Brighton have kept a core of strong, experienced players and continue to add to it. Unlike the players that they bring in with the idea of raising their value and selling them, Brighton have a good group of experienced players who fit their system that supply a constant high level of play. Lewis Dunk is the primary example of this. He's been with Brighton since Wimbledon dissolved in 2003 and proven to be a great fit as his distribution is very strong. He's played alongside Ben White, Shane Duffy, Levi Colwell, Adam Webster, and the center backs that they have now. And he's done a great job leading Brighton through the divisions and helping them be sustainable in the Premier League. Then you have somebody like Pascal Gross, who's been with them since they reached the Premier League. He's now turned into a German international and can play in just about any position they've put them in and raise the level of Brighton's performance. Solly March is another dynamic winger who's looked very strong recently. Though he is versatile and can play a left wing-back position, he's been very strong in that wing spot. And in addition, there's experience throughout the squad. Jason Steele in goal, Adam Webster and Joel Voltman at the back, alongside James Milner, who's another versatile player. Adam Lallana and Mahmoud Dahoud in midfield. I'd guess that Dahoud is going to become part of this core pretty soon as well. And then you have Danny Welbeck up top. Brighton are not just a selling club. They make a point of bringing in experienced players, and those players have a pedigree of success. James Milner's won everything at club level, including being the Champions League record holder for most assists in a single campaign. Then Danny Welbeck was a part of that amazing 2008 Manchester United team and was a starter on that last Alex Ferguson title-winning team, and both of them have been starters for England at major tournaments. Then you have Mahmoud Dahoud, who's won trophies with Borussia Dortmund and has German caps. Joel Valtman was a part of some amazing Ajax teams and played at the World Cup for the Netherlands. Add those players to a group of academy guys, and you get a really strong core. A core that allows them to sell potentially world-class players and remain successful, and also allows them to integrate young players and bring them to a higher level so their sales can be worth so much more. And honestly, even if this next group of young players ends up being duds, which knowing Brighton, it won't be, Brighton will remain successful because this core of players is so strong they won't fall off. This isn't like Southampton, who just have James Ward-Prowse. This core of experienced players are a key to what Brighton is doing. This core of players is what separates Brighton from other selling clubs and establishes a real ambition inside of it. And who's to say that some of their super talents don't end up staying? Maybe Billy Gilmore, Matoma, or even Evan Ferguson end up staying at Brighton long term. And if that happens, the floor of what Brighton will do each season will only continue to grow. And if they can keep elevating that core and keep bringing in super talents, which there's no reason to suggest why they wouldn't be able to, Brighton will only continue to grow. As much as it pains me to admit it, Brighton are a fun watch, partially because of the wide open play and partially because of the talent on display. And they're just as enthralling off the field as they aim to challenge the world's best on a relatively minor budget. Time will tell how far being a well-run club can get you in a game that's been driven by money, but if Brighton are able to reach the Champions League this season, which they have a non-0% chance of doing, and increase their budget, something special could be on the horizon. And hopefully for me, as a Crystal Palace fan, iron will end up sharpening iron. And that's it. That's all I got to talk about with Brighton. If you like this, like, subscribe. I've got videos on Manchester United, Tottenham, and Chelsea that I've made recently that you could like. And yeah, that's it. See ya.